Kia ora, it's Ruth here and welcome to my backyard in Christchurch. Now I haven't made any videos for the last month. It's not because baby's come, because baby is still very much on board. It's just been that I haven't really done anything in the garden the last month. We've definitely been harvesting, which has been brilliant, but the whole bending factor, definitely getting a bit harder. So I'll show you around what my garden's looking like at the end of March, and maybe the next couple of days I might be able to get to the garden a bit more, because apparently gardening brings on labour. We'll see how that goes. So here is my garden for the end of March. I'll start down here with our broccoli. It's been great being able to pick some broccoli so far. These are full heading ones. Generally I've been sticking with the sprouting broccoli because I find they're just way more versatile for us, that you can just grab a couple of sprouts at a time. But these ones, just because it's coming in, well, it's summer till autumn, they haven't headed up as big, which has been great because we've had a good amount. So here is one of the heads. We've picked this one for dinner the other night, and this one is starting to go to flower, but that's okay, we'll pick this one for dinner tonight as well. So broccoli is going well. The beans that were planted late have been producing a few beans. These got some that I need to pick, so they've been great as well. I've harvested the main carrot tops. There's a few more that are ready, and I'm really looking forward to planting these seeds, which I haven't done yet, but I've got high hopes. Now here is one of our more mature kohlrabi, and here is my SHEDWARS tip, is these wonderful things. If you've seen my videos before, you will have seen me talk about them, but these are great for mid-season or cross-season use. So really, all they are mini glass houses, mini greenhouses. When we had our lockdown here last year, we had a wonderful gran who lived with us, and she loved her fizzy, so we've got a whole heap of these, which is brilliant. And so what I've got is I've got my next lot of kohlrabi under them. So they don't just stop the birds from eating them, because the birds love to have this little kohlrabi, but it also just means that overnight they don't get as cold and it keeps the temperature a bit more even during the day. So the ones that have been under these have grown so much better than the ones that haven't. So SHEDWARS tip, cut up fizzy drink bottles are fantastic as a really easy way to just keep your growing season a little bit when you're in the edges. So let's keep going. So you can see there's one got knocked over. Our corn I didn't think was going to do too well, but we're just coming to the end of it now. Again, I'll be picking some for dinner. Over this side, we've been loving all our berries. It's so great being able to come and pick some for breakfast. I've just picked some though, so there's not really any here to see. Our leeks, these are starting to go up really well. There's a bit of digging in here because I let the chickens out yesterday. Oh, and they got a little bit too excited, but that's okay. Here we've got our Brussels sprouts. Now our Brussels sprouts have actually been in the ground since last year, definitely before December I planted them, and that's because here in Christchurch it does get really cold really fast, and when I first planted them it was about February, March, 2 years ago, and found they just didn't grow, didn't really get any Brussels sprouts at all. So last year when I planted them earlier, got the whole lot of growth in before it actually cooled down. So these ones I've planted from seed, which is fantastic, and they're already showing signs of being able to have a good harvest. And while they do grow in summer, grow best in winter because they need that cold snap to get the full flavour, but also because of bugs. When you've got the aphids around, they don't come in winter when you need to have them. In summer, if you grow them, they get full of aphids quite easily, and then you just can't eat them. So Brussels sprouts in the winter is fantastic. I'm really looking forward to them. But here is what else. Got lots of nasturtiums going on. These beans are coming to the end. There's still a few on them. And some beetroots that are growing up nicely as well. Got a few rogue tomato plants in here, and even though they're flowering, I don't think we'll get too far. Oh, I was going to say there's a little one, but I just pulled it off. That's okay. Down here we have got some more Brussels sprouts, which are again going really well, which I'm really excited about. These broad beans are self-seeded. So what I did is to have a go at combating codling moth. I planted broad beans under the apple trees, and it's been fantastic. From last year to this year, we've just been stewing a whole lot of apples, and there's been barely any codling moth at all. Like if we look at this one here, there is a few holes, but then inside we've found that there's actually no codling moths in there. So it's been fantastic, and they're a really good size now. So we've been harvesting them a bit earlier than normal. And if we continue along, our pak choy has been amazing. It first got by the birds because I hadn't covered it, and then it just came back. The birds have not been touching it. But the tatsoi, not so much. When that got decimated, it just never really fully got itself back. And this kohlrabi probably should come out. Let's do this one. What I love about kohlrabi is I've just got a crazy little stem and then this big bulbous thing on it. This I will pull, or if I can. Oh, I probably should have just cut it. And then we'll have to add this to our shedwars weight. Look at that. I'll give it a good pull off soon. And then our zucchini here, starting to get some powdery mildew on some of the older leaves. Powdery mildew comes because of kind of warm, humid climates. So it's just because down this end I've been watering where the leaves are, because this is where the root is, and so it's been having water left on the leaves. Ideally, it wouldn't have water on the leaves at all. I'd just be able to drip water from the bottom. But as I said, haven't really been paying much attention to the garden the last month. It's just been whatever's easiest. But we're still getting some zucchinis off it. Down the end, we've been a lot better at stopping them going into marrows. These ones are actually pretty well perfect size to pick. And these male flowers are great. You know they're male because they've got this end rather than kind of a fruiting end. And you can stuff them and you can cook them. So we've been doing well with both our female fruiting ones and our male ones that you can use as well. Over here, our black currants, they are definitely done. And our apricot tree, while it hasn't produced anything, it's been looking beautiful and it's been growing very well. And round behind me, April is just around the corner and our shedwars are looking wonderful with this tree and this tree. So I'm really looking forward to our apricots, our shedwar season. And just before I pause this video and then start another one so that it's not too long, I'll show you our crab apples. We've just made our first batch of crab apple jam or crab apple jelly, which has been so exciting. We did need to boil it twice because the first time we thought we'd finished it, bottled it all up. Next day it was still liquid, and I was amazed at how much of a different colour it was, how much richer it was after doing the second boil. We've tried some, it's amazing, so I'm really looking forward to using these last crab apples. And they've actually gone massive. If you know crab apples, they're generally a lot smaller than this. So these are Jack Hum ones, and we planted them 3 years ago. And I'm looking forward to making another lot of crab apple jelly. We've already given away a few, so we'll make sure we've got some for us to keep as well. So this is part 1. I'll take you into part 2, showing you the rest of the garden very soon. But for now, ka kite, and I'll see you next time. See ya!